Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Mission Empowered Podcast 2025 with me, your host, Emily. I hope you are all great and are having a happy new year so far. So, this episode, for those of you that have made their New Year's resolutions, I just know it's gonna absolutely put some golden nuggets in there for you, okay? Because New Year's resolutions, I love them. I love them. I love that people make them. I love the motivation people have making them. And I just want to be that hype girl that is like, you can do it. The problem with New Year's resolutions is that a lot of people pluck them out of thin air and go too hard, too quick, too unsustainable. And I'm going to read some facts and figures for you in a minute. And they failed by the first week of Jan, right? So we don't want that to happen for you. And it's the same with any goal. I'm going to break down how you can keep them. So yeah, fingers crossed this podcast is going to be a bit revolutionary for you. And then you can always come back to it and use it with any other goals that you have. So should we get into it? How to not fail New Year's resolution. So as I said, the biggest problem is that when people pick New Year's resolutions, they pluck them out of thin air. You know, I want to lose weight. I think when I was looking for my facts and figures, 45% of New Year's resolutions are to lose weight or to exercise more or to get healthier along them lines. I think the only one that beat that was saving money, and that was like 53%. So just up to half of New Year's resolutions are to do with weight, health, and everything. And it's so great to say this year I'm going to be healthier, this year I'm going to exercise more, but that's it. That's where people's New Year's resolutions stop. There's nothing backing it. And that's what I'm going to break down for you now is the 5 ways that you can make sure that you are keeping them resolutions up, okay? But first of all, facts and figures. So 80% of people in the UK make a New Year's resolution. 80%, 80%, I just read that because I just read it again. 80% of the people that make New Year's resolutions fail them or give up on them by the first week of February. That's mind-blowing, isn't it? And I don't want you to be in that. Even bigger than that, just take a moment to have a little think. How many do you think follow it through by the end of the year? Or how many people do you think quit by the end of the year? Okay, you've got a number in your head. Up to 98% of people who start resolutions have failed them by the end of the year or give up or didn't achieve them. 98%! That is madness, okay? But I don't believe it's because people are lazy or they're quitters. I genuinely think it's because people don't know how to goal set or how to see through their New Year's resolutions. Because what will happen? The 98% of people that have given up by or quit by the end of the year or didn't achieve them by the end of the year, they go into January and they go, this year is the year I'm going to make it happen, and then nothing changes. I think a lot of people, and maybe this will resonate with you listening, I think a lot of people think New Year's resolution is down to like motivation and willpower, and that's how you achieve your goal. And it's not. It's really not. Achieving a goal is about having that plan of how to achieve that goal. Motivation will come and go. It's motivation is less. What is? I'm really going to butcher my words here. Motivation is more not here than it is here, if that makes sense. I know that makes sense. That's definitely not the right words to say it, but mum brain, you're just going to have to go with me, okay? Is that I always describe motivation like fairy dust, okay? Sometimes you have these days where you're like, I'm so fucking motivated, but more often than not, you don't have that. A lot of people doing what I do as my job, I post that I'm in the gym, I post that I'm on my walks. I don't get hyped up to do that all the time. 80% of the time I'm like, go to the gym, you lazy bitch. Okay, like that is that when I'm there I love it, but I don't, it's more often than not I'm not motivated to go to the gym. And I know that what carries me through is I know that I'm going to enjoy it, and the after feeling is what carries me through. Right, that's another podcast I'm going off there. So we've got the facts and figures. 80% of people are making them. 80% of that 80% are failing them by January, and by the end of the year 92% haven't achieved them. So let's break down how that isn't going to be you. The first thing on my list is having the goal of your New Year's resolution. Okay, so let's say you want to lose weight, because as we've established, that tends to be one of the most popular ones. You have to follow that goal with why. Why do you want to lose weight? What is your driving force behind that? And if you can't really think of one, then that shouldn't be a New Year's resolution. You need to go, girl, and think of another goal, okay? Because unless you've got a big, big ass why behind your goal, you are never going to see that goal through, okay? Because that why is going to be, the thought process that you go through when you don't want to get up in the morning and go for that walk or go to that gym. That why is when is going to power you through when your partner says, do you want to get a chip in? You say no. Okay, that why is going to be that driving force. And I'm talking about health and fitness because that's my jam, but it also might be, why you don't buy the pair of shoes in the shop because you're trying to save money to go on a nice holiday or whatever, So you've got to have a big why. Now, once you've got your goal and once you've got that deep why behind it, go a little bit deeper. So, for example, let's just do the whole losing weight thing. This year, you want to lose 2 stone. Why? Because I want to feel better in myself. Why? Why do you want to feel better? And this should open up like parts of you that you don't often think of. You don't really have that deep thought or that deep connection, but it's magical to see sometimes people's why. This is what I do for my job. Whenever someone comes to work with me, we always dig into the why. And sometimes it could be, I'll give you a couple of examples of what people have said to me, why they want to work with me to be healthier, to be fitter, to feel better about themselves. Things that stay in my mind. Kids is a big one. Is that people actually want to look after their health, to be around for their kids, for their grandkids. One of my previous clients who did exceptionally well, she couldn't partake in sports day. She was too embarrassed to partake in the mum and daughter sports day. And that was her trigger point. So although she came to me and said, I want to lose weight, and she was quite upbeat and positive, and she said, why? Oh, I feel like it's time to lose weight, I've been heavy. But then I asked her again, yeah, but why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to be better in yourself? Why do you want to be fitter? Because I couldn't partake in my kids' sports day, and it made me realise, fucking hell, I'm not going to be, the person I want to be for my kids. So dig into that why, because the deeper your why, the higher the possibility that you're going to achieve that goal. Okay. So once you've got that deep, deep why, write it down, or you can do that at the same process. You can do it at the same time. So when you're thinking about your why, just sit with a pen and paper and let your hand go. Let them words and them thoughts go from your brain into your hand and write it down. Trust me when I say this is so freaking powerful. And it's what I've done for my goals this year. I actually wrote my goals up in a Word document, and then I'll handwrite them out on a piece of paper, and I frame them and I put them up on the wall so I see them day in, day out every day for the year. Okay, because it is very powerful seeing a goal written in your own handwriting. Like there's quite a strong connection there. So write your goal down. Don't just say it, write it down. You've probably heard me say on previous episodes as well of the podcast, we are 43% more likely to achieve a goal if it's written down, which is why I always handwrite my week. Yes, it's in my diary, but I also handwrite it as well. It's why I handwrite my to-do list, my go to the shop, go to the post office. Okay, there is that strong connection of when we write things down, we tend to get them done rather than keep them in our brain. Okay, so once you've written it down, like I've just said, what I do, have it in eyesight, get it in a frame, get it stuck on the fridge, get it on your bedside table, get it on your, a really handy one to have is get it on your lock screen on your phone, because subconsciously you'll be looking at that day in, day out. And again, without even realizing, it's a reminder in your head. So let's use a different goal. You want to go on your dream holiday, you want to buy your dream home. Get that picture on the front of your phone. Get that destination on the front of your phone. Yeah. One thing I will say, and I'll go back to fat loss here, don't put someone else on the front of your phone. Okay. I'm speaking from experience. I'm pretty sure when I was about, I don't know, maybe let's say 17, when the fuck the picture phones come out anyway, I'm pretty sure I had like a Victoria's Secret stomach on my phone. I was like, that's girls. No, that's fucking unrealistic, you knob. Like, don't be doing that, okay? That's not good. That's like negative motivation. We don't want that. But if your goal is to lose weight, you could put, a picture of like healthy eating on your phone, or if you want to get back to some jeans that you used to getting or something, put a picture of you in the jeans on the phone, okay? But do it that way. But yeah, don't have someone else on your phone. I'm going down a rabbit hole here because I'm going to give this example and then tell you why. If you're looking for love in 2025, right? Sorry, I keep knocking my screen. If you're looking for love in 2025, go on to Google and search like the word love or a silhouette of I wouldn't say a man and a woman and a woman, man and a man, and get a silhouette of that, of people looking happy, and put that on your phone. So you honestly, this is all, a lot of this is like a bit of power of the universe stuff that I'm talking about now. But if you can see it subconsciously, you're going to attract it, you're going to look for it. I promise you it works. So the reason I just said that about looking for love is, just yesterday, I have designed like my 2025 vision board. It's the first year that I've done this, by the way. And I just love it already. And on this vision board, so whenever I open up my computer now, I have got everything that I want out of this year on there. So everything that means stuff to me, it's now on my vision board. And I am buzzed. I love it. I love looking at it. I'm like, I just feel very universe connected with all these pictures on. So yeah, anyway, gone down a rabbit hole, but only on point one. So write it down, get it in your eyesight, or you can just do like what I said. I handwrite my goals and I stick them in a frame, because again, that is signaling to me these are important. They're in a frame, and I put it on my office wall. Where is my next one? Okay, once you have that goal, I'm going to tie some of these points cross over into each other's, but once you have that goal, you had the why, write it down, get it in eyesight, and then you need to have a plan behind it. Okay, so you need to have a plan of how that goal is going to come to fruition. So if your goal is to lose 2 stone this year, right? You have then got to come up with a plan of, well, that means I've got to eat healthy, 80% of the time. It means I've probably got to exercise 3 to 5 times a week, hit my step goal, drink my water, looking at the plan of social occasions that you've got coming up, holidays that you've got coming up, and you've got to say, maybe, I'll aim to lose £1 a week or £2 a week for this time. Okay, that's the plan, and have a bit of a plan behind it. Again, one of the most common downfalls, people setting goals, New Year's resolutions, they don't have the plan to back it up. Okay, so make sure once you've got the goal and you've written it down and you're looking at it, you're not just doing that on hope and will. It's that actually you've got a bit of structure and plan of how that goal is going to come to fruition. Another goal, New Year's resolution, people say, I want to be able to run. Dead easy answer to that. Download the Couch to 5K app. That's your first step. And then your second step is obviously following it. But yeah, make sure you've got a plan to see that goal through. What's that? A goal without a plan is just a dream or a wish, something like that. So remember, you've got to have the plan. Okay, so that's point one in a nutshell, is all to do with making the goal and how to figure out what that goal is. So if you have said this year that you want to lose weight and you can't really have a driving force behind the why, then maybe that isn't your goal and you need to go back to the drawing board, think of another one. All right, so number 2, how to stick to your resolutions. Number 2 is don't pick more than 3. I would actually even say don't pick more than 2. But there are, statistics that show that don't pick more than 3. So we'll go with, the research rather than just my opinion. Don't pick more than 3. Okay, starting 3 new things at one time is just going to overwhelm you. When we feel overwhelmed, we get stressed. And when we're stressed, we go back to default, which is what we know. So you end up quitting your goals, which we don't want. Okay, so I would say, like I said, pick 2. Oh, well, let's go back to what I've written down here. What I would do if your goals this year are literally like, I want to. So I've got, they're not New Year's resolutions, so 10 goals for this year, but I make a list of everything that I want to do. I just brain fart, or a brain fart on a document of everything that I want to do this year. Okay, I then pick like the most important 2, and then think, right, I'm going to work on them. Okay, so if you've got a New Year's resolution to make more money, lose weight, get fit, spend more time with your partner, do a daily run, do daily yoga, stretch before bed, like all of that. If you try and do all of that in one day, every day, your life plate is going to be overwhelmed and you're going to drop off, and then you'll probably not do any of it. Whereas what you're best doing is making a list, pick the most important two, and then once you've nailed down the most important two, then add the other ones in and work on it like that. Let me just shut this door 1 second. Oh, get me water while we're at it. Sorry, gals. Got the state of this. I've still got the Christmas boxes behind me. Right, so make a list, pick the most important two that you want to work on, and go back to point one of doing the why and all that, okay? Or maybe you do your goal and you feel like which one is the most, which one really resonates you with the why, which one are you most passionate about, and then start that one. Because, like I said, doing more than three, again, I see this a lot with New Year's resolutions. People say, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to fucking walk 20,000 steps every day. They end up doing nothing. Okay, so pick the one that resonates with you the most, the one that's probably going to have the most impact, and go from there. And then you can always build on your New Year's resolutions, okay? Your New Year's resolution could be you're going to add a habit in every month, okay? January, this. February, it might be January, healthy eating. February, join a gym. March, start running, if that's what you want to do. Do it that way, yeah. So number 2 is don't pick more than 3 resolutions to start at once. Point number 3, very, very, very important. So listen up to this one. Accountability. Okay. So going back to what I said, people pick New Year's resolutions out of thin air. They don't have a plan. They don't have an accountability plan. How are you going to keep on track? How are you going to check in with yourself that you are actually following through with your resolution? Now, this can be really simple as setting a reminder in your calendar that every Sunday you're going to do a bit of reflection and say, right, my New Year's resolution was to walk 10k steps every day. So you then on a Sunday reflect on that week and go, well, I did it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, didn't quite hit it Thursday, but I did it Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Great. 90%. Amazing. I'm also going to talk about percentages and aims in the last point, but on reflection, maybe, if you found it really hard to do all of that, having that reflection time, having that accountability, you might be able to go, well, actually 10k was a bit too much. I'm going to pull that down for next week, rather than just having no accountability and just, rocking through the days get ahead of you. And then you go, oh shit, I was meant to be doing this as a New Year's resolution. And I don't know when I stopped doing it. Having that accountability, having that check-in time, really, really important. Now, you can do this by, one of the best ones is being accountable to someone, which is why coaching is invaluable in my opinion. And what I do is a really important part of a health and fitness journey, is having a coach, is having accountability, is checking in with someone who not only can say, have you done what you said you're going to do, but also if you said you're going to do, or if you're struggling, let me show you how not to struggle anymore. That's why I think my job is invaluable. Is that the right term? Invaluable, valuable. I think invaluable is the wrong term that I'm using, but I said it with confidence, so probably just have highlighted something that wasn't needed. But yes, why my job is so valuable. There we go. That coaching is a big part of accountability, because it is about having that thing in place that you are going to do it because you've got to check in with yourself. And that's why checking in with yourself, you've got to be quite driven and honest to do that, but getting an accountability buddy. So what in your circle of friends, your family members, work, have you got someone that you can say, right, every Sunday you check in with your goals, I'll check in with mine, and we'll make sure we keep each other accountable. Okay. So yeah, number 3 is getting accountability. How are you going to check in? On a side note of number 3 then, of being accountable to your goals, is talking about your goals. So if you're in work or in your circle of friends, put it in your WhatsApp group or tell your friends at work, my New Year's resolution is I'm going to start eating healthier. So I'm going to be having veggies with every meal, or protein 3 times a day. That's it. And talk about it. Because again, just talking about it is making yourself more accountable. Because when your friends or work colleagues say, hey Joe, how are you getting on eating your protein? You're going to be like, shit, I've got to tell them. Okay, so it's having that accountability. So the more you talk about it, I promise you, the better you will do on it as well. So number 3, get yourself accountable, whether it's with yourself, whether it's with a buddy, and make sure you're talking about your New Year's resolutions. Put it out to the universe. This is what I'm doing. I promise it works. Okay. Just on a little side note on that, I'm really big on that. So I will put on Instagram, I will tell Ollie, I will tell my mum and dad, one of my goals for this year, it's not necessarily a New Year's resolution, but it's a goal, is I'm going to run a 10K. Now, I've said that. I am terrible. One of my toxic traits is I push myself to do things that scare the shit out of me, or that I think, am I even going to do that? And once I've put it out there, I know I will feel like such a failure if I don't do it. So whenever I have a goal, I always make sure I talk about it, because that makes me be really accountable. And because I don't, one of my, probably like, I don't know, like I'm a very proud person, I guess. So yeah, I talk about things because it makes me do it. So it does work. Right. Number 4 then. So we've got 2 more to go. Number 4, number 5. Okay, so it's being realistic with your New Year's resolutions, okay? I had someone message me on Instagram the other day, and she said, when you open coaching spaces up, 2025, I want to lose 6 stone. That to me, like, I love the motivation. I don't actually even know she's got 6 stone to lose, but I love the motivation. I love that. But that is a very extreme goal to have. You know, for me, an astounding amount of weight to lose in a year is like 3 stone. That is doable. It's incredible. It takes a lot of power. And obviously I'm talking, you know, it depends how much weight you've got to lose, etc. But for me, any of my clients that I've ever known to lose like 3-4 stone, it's been life changing. And so when this person said, I want to lose 6 stone, I was like, okay, why do you want to lose 6 stone? You know, I feel really uncomfortable with myself, and I've got 6 stone that needs to go, and so I'm going to do it. And then we got into a conversation about what she's tried in the past, and you know what she's doing at the moment. And it was basically like, just, there was no thought process behind it. It was just this big number, and it was like, I want to lose 6 stone. Oh, that was it. I said, why do you want to lose 6 stone? Going on holiday in August, so it wasn't even a year, right? It was like 9 months. And I actually haven't followed up with this lady yet. I'm going to have a chat with her. But my thought process is going to be to ask her, you know, realistically, do we think that's attainable? Do we think that's doable with what you're doing at the moment? She was basically, you know, didn't really understand nutrition, which is fine because that's what I do. Wasn't doing any exercise. So we were really starting from the bottom. Now, 6 stone starting from the bottom, it's tough. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It's going to be very, very tough, because it's not just about losing the weight. It's in installing them healthy habits to keep that weight going. Okay, so around the houses, what I'm trying to say here is, when you set your New Year's resolutions, new goals, it's being realistic with them. So it doesn't mean you can't shoot for the moon. Okay, of course you can, but you've got to be realistic of, okay, that's the ultimate goal. Should I start with maybe a more achievable, attainable goal that doesn't necessarily feel like I'm going to fail? Because what happens is, if we set unrealistic goals and we fail at them, then we quit. Okay, because nobody likes to fail, so it's easier. It's easier for people to decide, I don't want that, I'm going to quit, rather than say, fucking hell, I'm really struggling and I've got to keep going. It's so much easier, and it's predispositioned in us for us to go, I'm not going to do it, I give up. Yeah. Dry Jan, really, really popular New Year's resolution. I think I read somewhere that a lot of people give up dry Jan by the second Friday in January, when I was doing my little facts and figures things. But dry Jan, again, it can be a struggle for people. You know, you go to a social occasion the second week in January, and rather than people being uncomfortable and being like, oh, I really want a drink, but I don't want one, so rather than struggle, they just say, oh, fuck it, I'm not doing it, and I quit. Yeah. So with your goals, being realistic is very important, because the harder and the struggle of the goal is, the higher chance of failing and quitting and then quitting. Okay, so just be realistic. Start small. There is nothing wrong with starting with a small goal. Actually, when I say nothing wrong, this is the best way to achieve big goals, is to start small, achieve. This will give you positive motivation. Okay, so when we have a positive motivation, it gives us like a positive feedback loop. So if we set our mind to something and we achieve it, that then gives us the confidence to know that we can achieve something. So then we go, okay, we'll achieve that. My mind now tells me you can achieve goals. I set another goal. I achieve that. Oh, that's 2 in the bank. And you just build and build and build rather than setting this one big, huge goal, New Year's resolution that you can't achieve. So then you quit. And then what that does is that is again like a negative feedback loop that your brain is then going to tell you when you set goals you can't achieve them. So what's that going to do? It's going to stop you setting goals. So if you start small and build on this positive feedback loop, you are more inclined to achieve the bigger goal because you're going to get that motivation. You're going to have that positive reinforcement that you can achieve goals. That is something you do because you're proving it to yourself. Okay, so number 4 is be realistic, okay? And don't be scared to start small and build up. See, can you see how point number 4 goes into point number 2, where I was saying don't do more than 3 things at a time, don't do more than 3 resolutions at a time, and it's all to do with like mental capacity and proving to ourselves that we can do the things that we set our mind to. Okay, last one then of how to achieve our New Year's resolution, and then I'm going to nutshell it all up at the end, is number 5 is don't give up, okay? You don't want to fall into that statistic of being the 80% that fail by the end of the jam, okay? You are only going to fail on your goal if you decide to quit, okay? This is something I use with my clients and myself all the time. We only definitively fail when we decide, I quit. You can struggle, okay? You can go back to the drawing board. You can make the goal smaller. You can take a break. But doing any of them things doesn't mean that you failed. The only time that we fail is when we go, I give up, I quit. Okay, so when it comes to New Year's resolution and goal setting, it's going through all the points that I said. And then even when it gets hard, because anything worth achieving is going to have the struggles, okay? The hard days are going to be there. The making that choice, them choices of, do I move close to my goal? Am I moving further away? They're going to become apparent, okay? Now, you are only human. You are not a machine. We are not machines. We are going to probably have some days where we go, I am not going to the gym. I choose not to go. It is then down to you to decide whether that moment was you quitting or that moment was just human default, because that's okay. Okay? Is that human default and you go, do you know what? I didn't go to the gym yesterday. I actually felt quite shitty about it, but I didn't quit. I just had a bit of a blip. Tomorrow, we get back to it. That resilience, that should have been my point 5, is have resilience and that know that goals are only achieved by how well we bounce back, because we're not machines. Nobody has perfect days every single day. And that is why another lovely saying that I like is chase progress, not perfection, because progress looks like this on a graph, okay? It's up and down, but gradually it's going up, okay? Perfection can look like this, straight up with a huge drop off, because perfection means that if that one day we miss it, it's all out the window and everything we've done before becomes pointless, okay? And that is literally setting yourself up for failure. Chasing progress sets yourself up for success, because we are giving ourselves that grace of, we're not going to be perfect every single day. We will have days that we smash and they feel good, but we'll have days where we struggle and we'll do our best. But as long as we decide that you are not quitting until you've achieved that goal, that mindset is what is going to carry you through to success. Okay, so they are my 5 points of how to achieve and not give up on your New Year's resolutions. Let's do that quick summary, gals. So number 1, the goal. Write your goal down and dig deep into why that goal is important to you. You are then going to write that goal down and have it on the front of your phone on a piece of paper, but you want to be able to see it every single day. And from that, make the timeline, make the plan. We've now got the goal. How are we achieving that goal? What do we need to do that? And again, this is, wide open. If you're going to eat healthier, you need to make a healthy shopping list. You need to go to the shop to get that healthy food in. Yeah, you probably need to meal plan before you go to the shop so you know what you're buying. If you're going to the gym, what days are you going to the gym? Speak to your partner. Can they mind the kids? Can you go? Are you going to go after work? Are you going to go before work? Do you need to set an early alarm? So you can see how the plan for whatever goal you have is important. If, like me, you want to run a race this year, run a 10K. Did I say that? I did say that, didn't I? Yeah. The first step in that goal is go and book your race and work backwards from it. Okay? Book the race in. The deadline is there, okay? Something else that really helps with goal is having that time defined goal. When do you want to achieve this New Year's resolution by? Okay. Point number 2, don't overstretch yourself. No more than 3. I would say 2, but no more than 3 New Year's resolutions at a time, depending how big or small they are. Okay. Make the list of everything you want and work through it by priority. Number 3, accountability. You have to be accountable to your New Year's resolutions. Get a buddy, get a mate, get a work colleague, even if it is, with yourself, put it in your diary, check in day. Okay. Number 4, be realistic. There is nothing wrong with having big goals, but what we don't want to do is set ourselves up for failing when actually we'd rather achieve the small goals and build on that positive motivation. And number 5, don't give up. We only fail when we decide to quit. Even if it's really hard, for a week, that's okay. You just go back to it when that week's over. So don't give up, be resilient, and remember, chasing progress, not perfection, is what leads to success. And that is it in a nutshell. So, girls, I hope this episode was a good first one back. If it was, you know the drill. Drop me a message on Instagram. Please do let me know if it helped. You know what would really help me in return? Little gift back. If you felt like this episode was helpful for you, please share it and tag me on your Instagram or on your Facebook. Okay. I really, 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 as always, I want the podcast to reach as many people as possible. I want it to help as many people as possible. And I can, I'm a one-man band. So I'm relying on my followers, my listeners to help me do that. So if you can share it and tag me, that would be awesome. And yeah, here's to 2025 being our best year yet. Get them New Year's resolutions in. You are now, 10 steps ahead of everyone else who's setting a New Year's resolution because you've got the plan of how to make them happen. All right, guys, I will catch up with you in the second week of Jan. But as always, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. And I hope that podcast put a little bit of a smile and gave you some motivation to go and have a cracking week. I'll see you next time. Love you. Bye.